Shalawam. I'm your brother Yahawah from the branch of GMS, South Carolina Midlands. And before I start off, all praise, honor, and glory belongs to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, HaQadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well. And Shalawam to Yahawah Elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you I say Shalawam. Just a quick in transit through the spirit and the power of Yahawashi Yahawashi was inspired, alright, through the spirit, watching the video here as you can see on the screen, and subscribe to the elder's channel. This is the Zaquan, or the elder Yahawah from GMS North Carolina, Riley. Okay, subscribe to his channel and be edified. Alright, GMS North Carolina 777. But nonetheless, these the elder and the brothers was going into a lesson. You know, as you can see, I still gotta finish it out. But just dealing with these heathens, man. Okay, as you can see the title. Let me read it. It says, "These damn heathens are going into captivity, and y'all can't stop it from happening." And that's a cold stone fact. Okay, that's the will of Yahawashi Yahawashi, and nobody can prevent it. Okay, you know, dealing with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and these heathen nations, you know, they had a hand in cutting us off from being in remembrance, according to Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Okay, dealing with all these damn heathens, man, from the Edomites, the so-called white man, from Moab, the Chinese, alright, to these damn Hamites, the so-called Africans, alright, all these damn heathens, man, Ammon, Japanese, you know, they had a hand in cutting us off from being a people. Okay, Amalek, the head of the Edomites, the so-called white race, small hatters. Okay, you know, they had a hand in cutting us off from being a nation and us continually to be on the bottom. You know, as we know that the heathen nations, they benefited off of our captivity under the so-called white man. You know, as you get into the parable, you know, with Lazarus and the rich man, you know, these heathens within that parable are the dogs that licked our sores. You know, benefited off of us, you know, being downtrodden and under the curses, and set up shops in our neighborhoods to keep us oppressed and keep us at the bottom. You know, keep us constantly in a cycle, buying from them, you know, forwarding them. You know, meanwhile, you know, when it comes to, you know, us trying to get businesses and things of that nature, you know, that's out of the window. Okay, but that's all due to the curses, like I said. But all these heathens, Esau from so-called white man to the rest of these heathen nations, benefited off of our downfall, man. Okay, off of our captivity and our oppression, and the table is surely going to turn, man. The table is surely going to turn around, as you know, the elder Yahawah and the brothers brought out the precept, Revelation 13:9 and 10. He that hath an ear, let him hear. You know, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And Esau, you know, surely led us into captivity, all according to biblical prophecy, of course. You know, he had to fulfill his blessing, his temporary blessing in Genesis, the 27th chapter, started the 40th verse. You know, his dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and he shall live by the sword. Well, guess what? Pursuant to Ezekiel 35:5, he put his sword against his brother Jacob. He had that perpetual hatred, and this devil still continues to shed the blood of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Hence why you could see a cop delete an Israelite within the streets and get a leave of absence, essentially get a vacation off deleting an Israelite, a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, okay? Because this is his temporary blessing. This is his kingdom. This is his heaven, okay? But what we're warning and what we're speaking about through the Spirit is that the tables is about to turn, man, okay? And the tables is going to turn here shortly, man, because right now we're in a transition of power, okay? Pursuant to the book of Sirach 10 and verse 8, because of unrighteous dealing to injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, and that's from the Edomites, who's currently in rulership, according to Job 9:24, and to the Israelites, man. All right, pursuant to 2nd Ezra 6:9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. So soon the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans is going to be in a position of power, of rulership, and dominion in the planet Earth. And that starts with Yahawashi, man. The only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, Yahawah, who's about to make his grand second return to take Esau, Edom out of power, along with the rest of the heathen nations, man. All right? And he's coming to deliver his elect and set Israel, start with the 144,000, the governing body, in power and in rulership, man. Okay? And this is soon to come, man. And this is a righteous thing in the eyes of our power. All right? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of the Bible, the God of the Israelites, right? The only one true living power. It's a righteous thing for you devils to go down along with you heathen nations. 2 Thessalonians 1:6. Seeing it is a righteous thing in the eye, Salakia, a righteous thing with the Most High, to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Okay? So it's pretty soon you devils and the rest of you heathen nations is going to be catching hell under the Israelites, man. Okay? And that's a righteous thing, man. NLT, it says, in his justice, he will pay back those who persecute you. Let me get another precept just to link it. Okay? You know, everything is about to, be turned right side up. And you devils, you damn Edomites, okay, and you heathens is about to go headlong into captivity, man. All right, it says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, that means all the heathen nations, man. And especially you devils, man. We put emphasis on that. You damn Edomites, starting with your wicked elite, oh, you devils is about to get it, man. Okay? No, they ain't gonna get no rest, and you devils gonna love the Sabbath, man, a rest day, okay? And even then, we gonna be in the back of your mind. We're gonna be at the forefront of your mind and the back of your mind. You're gonna be dreading us, okay? Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, man. Who can turn aside the will of the Lord? Who can stop this from happening, man? Okay? The wicked elite with all their power and all the money that they got and influence in the earth, with their perfection of the sword, who can stop the will of Yahawah, man? Nobody. It says, and every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. You see? And that's when everything is in its rightful order. That's the kingdom of heaven being established here on this earth, man. That's when the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans will be governing this earth via the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahawah. That's when we're going to be in our perfection and in those new bodies. There's the fulfillment of the second covenant, where the laws will be in our inward parts. Therefore, we will be immortal. We will be perfect. We will be those gods that is spoken about in Psalms 82:6. Right now, we're immortal bodies, but even the Apostle Paul spoke about it, 1 Corinthians 15:50. It's concerning the mystery that this mortal was going to put on immortality. This corruptible is going to put on incorruption, and that's when we're going to be lowercase g's, gods. All right. We are named Israel for a reason, the sons of God, Yasharahla, the princes of the power, for a reason. We're about to be restored into that. And we're about to rule here in the planet Earth, just as in the Lord's Prayer, the Adawam Palau, the Lord's will be done here on earth as it is in heaven. Okay? And it says, for I will restore thee, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds. Woo! The Lord gonna take them curses off of us. The Lord gonna restore us and make us immortal. We're not gonna be able to sin ever again. Alright, the heathen nations will never rule over us ever again. Okay? We're gonna have the necks of our enemies, man. Okay? Brotherly love is gonna be flourishing in the planet Earth amongst the Israelites. Okay? Our women is not gonna hate us, have an evil eye towards us, or her seed. Brothers ain't gonna have evil eyes towards their brother. Just like you see all the black on black, brown on brown violence, gang banging. Everything gonna be restored. We're gonna be restored unto health. We ain't gonna have no bodily ailments. Okay? We're gonna be perfect. It says, saith the Lord, Yahawashi. It says, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Yeah, these heathens ain't give a damn about us, man. Okay? None of these heathens, from the so-called white man, who is your primary enemy, unto the least heathen, didn't give a damn about you, and still don't. But guess what? The Lord said that, he's going to give us praise and fame in all the lands where we will put to shame. And this is all through the Spirit, man. Just wanted to touch on this, man, because, like I said, I was inspired. Listen to the Elder Hawad and the brothers, man, of Raleigh, North Carolina. Listen to this video, which I still got to finish it. But, everything about to be, the table's about to turn here shortly, man. Okay? And the Elder Hawad made a very good point. Here it is, we captives under Esau, and we underneath these heathen nations. And now when it comes to our turn to rule, and the kingdom of heaven being established, which is going to be a perpetual thing, a perpetual decree of Yahawashi for the Israelites to rule, starting with Yahawashi. But here it is, it comes time for us to rule and have subjects or servants. We can't have no subjects. We can't have no servants. Nobody can't serve the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven. You fucking crazy? Okay? And you got Israelites with that mindset, man, showing you they don't have a kingdom or a ruling class mentality, man. But it says, behold, at that time, in future time, I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And the Lord is going to, of course, bring us and put us back in the Holy Land. That's, one of many examples that show you that the people, those imposters, those small hatters, those 1948ers are not the people of the Lord. The Lord going to gather the true so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the Israelites, the elect, and bring us back into the land that he promised unto our fathers, man, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It says, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they were put to shame. And that's when, the Lord gonna raise us up. Okay, that's where the Lord gonna give us spiritual power, allow us to tap into that spiritual power as being the sons of God. Okay, remember in the place where it said, let me just read it, Hosea 1:10. We're gonna get praise and fame, man. Miracles and spiritual power will, be seen here in these latter days, man. Okay, amongst the Lord's elect, man. All right, ye brothers. Okay, divine intervention, right? It says, and we're gonna be healing the blind, the sick. Okay, brothers gonna be flying. All different types of things, man. Angels gonna manifest themselves unto us, man. This is Hosea 1:10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, yet we're innumerable, which cannot be measured nor numbered. It shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people. There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. So yeah, that's here in America, Babylon the Great, man. Okay, it's going to be an acknowledgement that we are the true children of Israel. And right now, only the elect, okay, it's truly coming back into that understanding that, we are, the nation of Israel. And even some of those that's not going to be saved on this go round, you got a lot of Israelites. A great awakening happening here in Babylon the Great, man. Okay, but when it's really going to set, that we are the true Israelites, is through that salvation, the strangeness of our salvation. That's truly about to take place. Where the Lord deliver us from the land of the north, being America, and from all the lands whither He hath driven us. Jeremiah 16:14 through 15. Okay. So yeah, these heathens definitely going into captivity, starting with their rulers, the powers that be. This is Psalms 149. I'm going to end it off on this. Psalms 149 verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And this is in the kingdom of heaven, man. We're going to be at rest. We're going to be at peace. Okay, we're going to be sovereign. So we're going to be singing aloud upon our bed, giving praises, glory unto Yahawashi. Okay. Now let me make a quick point to prove who those saints are. Psalms 148 and 14. He also exalted the horn meaning power, of his people, the praises of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay, so the saints are the Israelites, man. That's the conclusion of the matter. Okay, it says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. And that's literal. Okay, to execute vengeance, payback upon the heathen. So yes, we gonna get our get back. Okay, ain't gonna be all this wickedness that Esau perpetuated against us, oppression that he had perpetuated against us, the heathens benefiting off of our captivity, had a hand in us going into captivity, and ain't gonna be no punishment, no payback. Nah, that's not how the Lord gets down. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, man. To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. That's the point. We're gonna get those nobles, kings, rulers, the wicked elite, the 1%ers, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the ruling class of these other heathen nations, man. The top of the top, they're gonna be our servants, man. Straight in the chains, straight into captivity, man. To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, the Israelites. Praise ye the Lord, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And I quoted, I want to read it, and I'll end it on this. Revelation 13:9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, man. And some of these, the elder Hawad and, brothers, brought these things out. But, I pray and hope that this lesson right here, man, was edifying, and straight to the point, like the elder Amawan Gabar says, but more importantly, edifying to the elect, man. Because pretty soon and shortly, all right, these devils is about to fall. We see the great divide. Satan divided against Satan. His kingdom cannot stand. St. Mark chapter 3 and 23. Eventually it's going to lead to what? Civil war, civil unrest, uprising against the government. And we know these devils, they have a plan of a new world order, and they think that they're going to hip everybody in the planet Earth. Revelation 13:16. Implement the mark of the beast, the RFID micro hip, which we are not to take, but we know that the will of Yahawashi is to destroy this devil. Revelation 14:9 and 10. Okay, the elect get beamed up. You know, Isaiah 26:20. You know, and then, you know, with those new bodies, us being perfected, New Jerusalem coming down off the chariot of the Lord. You know, and of course, man, you know, ruling, you know, ruling in the planet Earth, man. And I'll get this, and I'll end it. Revelation 21:3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle, which means the house of the Most High, is with men, and that's you hopeful elect men, the governing body, 144,000, man, who's about to get delivered. Okay, the rulers in the kingdom to come, along with Yahawashi. Okay, and we know that, you know, you great multitude. All right, those are the 1/3. You're gonna be delivered as well. It says, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And right now you're seeing that the building of the third temple. Okay, the house of David being built up. Okay, that's why the scriptures speak about us, you know, us men being as, you know, lively stones. You know, we build up, you know, the house of the Lord, man. Okay, the Lord closing up the breaches, establishing the house of David, you know, as in the days of old. You know, lively. Let me see if I get this real quick. 1 Peter 2:5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahawashi Hamashiach. Wherefore also it is contained in the scriptures, Behold, I lay in Sion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. So you see, you know, we're building up that spiritual third temple, and it's all off the foundation of Yahawashi, belief in Yahawashi, man. Okay, so the tabernacle of the Most High, Yahawah, is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High, Yahawashi himself, shall be with them and be their power. You see, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death. You see, immortality from that point. Like, we're gonna have those new bodies when we get beamed up on the chariot, you know, and you know, of course, we're gonna come down, you know, and you know, put things in order. Okay, it says, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. You know, and that's because, you know, captivity and the fashions of this world is going to be passed away. We're going to have a new heavens and a new earth, you know, essentially the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so I pray and hope that this was, you know, edifying, you know, through the spirit and the power of Yahawah Shai, unto you hopeful elect. Matter of fact, the point I wanted to get was up top. Revelation 21:1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, which is a kainos, a refreshing. The rule of the Israelites, you know, the rule of the Edomites, the wicked, is gone out of power, and the rule of the righteous, the Israelites, is coming into power. For the first heaven and the first earth are passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem. All right, that's us being perfected, you know, having those new bodies. All right, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, man. You know, and that's when we got that spiritual power, man. Those new tabernacles, new bodies that, you know, the Lord got laid for us up in heaven, man. All right, and we're looking to receive that here soon and shortly, man. Lord will is edifying to the elect. You know, these damn heathens are going into captivity, and y'all can't stop it from happening. Subscribe to the elder. GMS North Carolina 777. Be edified. All right, with that I say shalom. Shalom to the hopeful elect.